There was a situation in the Portugal versus Croatia round of 32 match where Croatia thought they had equalized after Portugal scored in the dying minutes of the match. Croatia thought they had equalized when they scored in the 90 plus 12 minutes of the match, but after VAR review, the goal was called offside. So let us look at what resulted to this goal being called offside. At the first instance, when the cross came in, a Croatia attacker touched the ball, but as the ball was moving, it hit a Portuguese defender, Renato Veiga, before it got to the Croatia attacker who was in an offside position. This has made many people to argue why the ball was still called offside. Let us look at what the law says. It says a player in an offside position receiving the ball from an opponent who deliberately played is highlighted. Deliberately played the ball, including by deliberate handball, is not considered to have gained an advantage unless it was a deliberate save by an opponent. So this has made it clear that a back pass, a deliberate play from an opponent to an attacker is not an offside. So why was this called offside? So let us look at some criteria that shows that a player is in control of the ball, which satisfy that when they play the ball, it is now considered to be a deliberate play. The first criteria is that the ball traveled from distance and the player had a clear view of it. This point makes it clear that Renato Veiga didn't have a clear view of the ball after the Croatia attacker had flicked on the ball. Then the second point is the ball was not moving quickly. From when the Croatia attacker flicked the ball with his head, the ball must have moved very fast before Veiga could even see it. The third point is the direction of the ball was not unexpected. It might be expected, but the very last point is what clears up everything. It says the player had time to coordinate their body movement. That it was not a case of instinctive stretching or jumping or movement that achieved limited contact/control. This shows that Renato Veiga had an instinctive movement because he didn't play the ball deliberately. He instinctively tried to avoid the ball hitting him, but the ball hit his head and went to the Croatia attacker who was in an offside position. And the last point says a ball moving on the ground is easier to play than a ball in the air. This clears up everything because it is easier if that ball was coming on the ground and it touches an attacker and then the defender plays it. But this coming from the air, the attacker touched it on and it touched the defender of Portugal, which is not seen as deliberate play. That is seen as a deflection to the attacker who was in an offside position. It doesn't make the attacker to become onside even though the ball had touched his opponent. So this is why the goal was cancelled and Portugal progressed after a 2-1 win over Croatia. Do you have a different opinion? Make it known in the comment section.